Hello grade 6. We're looking at circuits this term. So energy, how does energy flow? So what we first need is a battery or a power source. And this one here, if I spin this around, you can see it says negative on this side and positive at the other end. And the positive side's got that little lump at the end there as well. And the batteries have different voltage, and on this one here, if I spin that around, I don't know if you can see that, it says 1.5 V. So we're just under here. So this one here is known as a bulb. Sometimes you might refer to this as a globe or a lamp. It's got these two wires coming up inside here. Probably a bit hard to see on the camera here. Two little wires going up, and across joining them is known as a filament. And if that's broken, then the electrons won't flow. You can't get light from this. So it's something, if you're not sure if something's not working, it could be the battery, it might be a wire not connected, or it might be the filament's broken. So something to keep an eye on. And then we've got these bulb holders or lamp holder, which means just inside, down the bottom, there's a little metal part down there. So you've got two little screws here, and underneath you can see there's a little, bit hard to see, but there's a little nut holding the screws in place. And I can just screw this one in, and it should be connected, hopefully. If that doesn't work, sometimes you may not have screwed it in enough. That little part down the bottom has to touch that metal part in there. You'll also find on the side of the bulb there's a little bit of soldering or soldering iron that's on there, a little bit of metal. Helps conduct the flow of electrons. So you'll find that you need a wire touching the bottom part, or something connected to allow the electrons to flow, and another one touching that part there, or just up here. We've got what's known as a motor. Again, we've got these two wires, and again they've been soldered. So solder and a soldering iron can be really hot and very dangerous, so you've got to be careful when we're doing that. So the motor, and we also have, where's that area, a buzzer. So this is the buzzer. And in class you'll be drawing different symbols that represent these. So to make a circuit, and you notice actually we've got this kind of wire, and you've got the little bits of ends here showing, and then we've got another wire with these little clips at the end already on there. And these are known as alligator clips. Just makes it easy to connect. So I could just connect, pinch that, and connect it there. Whilst if I'm doing this one, I actually have to get, and I recommend getting a little, it's known as a Phillips screwdriver. It's got a little cross at the end. This was maybe 5 dirham from Carrefour. I'm sure there's cheaper ones, but just a little one to take these little screws, unloosen them. So if I unscrew this, should allow me to put a wire underneath, although they can be a little bit fidgety. I'll put a demonstration on the other side, this one's easier. You can see the screw coming up, which means I can either attach this wire to this, or I might be able to put it underneath that little part here. As long as it's connected in there somewhere, and it's locked into place, and I'll just screw that back down. Which means I can, oh, terrible job. didn't screw it in very well at all. So something just to work on there, Mr. Blair. Okay, let's try that again. And if it gets a bit scraggy, just give it a little bit of a twist. And then, hopefully this time I can lock it in place. Let's try for the second time. Okay, now it's in useless. That's why we use alligator clips. These can be a little frustrating at times. Maybe I'll just use a different one. This one's flying better. Alright, put this one in there. It's a bit better. Don't know if you can see that, but you can see I can just slide this one straight under there. So that's sort of just, this definitely will hold. And I can see that's holding there in place. So I'll need a wire on the other side. Let's put that one, and I will use a different wire. Let's go with, doesn't matter if it's red or blue, it's the same thing. So on this side, just pop that one in there. You'll find if I push this one and connect it too far, and it's the actual rubber part is connected and touching the metal part, then the electrons won't flow. So I've just got to make sure it's the actual metal part that's touching the wire. Okay, that's in place. So now I've got my wires, my circuit. I need a bulb in here. Now again, I don't know if this filament's working. If it is, let's move these other things out of the way. Should be able to make a complete circuit. So let's try this. You see the little bulb just lighting up a little bit? Yep. So I'll turn that light on. There you go, looks a bit better. If I spin the battery around, do you think it'll work or not? Seems to work. What about if I add two batteries together? 1.5 volt plus another 1.5 volt. What do you think will happen? Let's try it. There goes that end, the positive end, and the negative. Ooh, that looks much brighter. Why do you think that's brighter? Let's have a look back at just the one battery. If it stays still. One battery. Two batteries. Twice as much power. There's 3 volts running through it. You've got to be careful because the bulb can only hold so much volts going through it, so much watts. So it's something to look at. And if you put too much energy through it, what do you think will happen? Yeah, that filament will break. So something to be aware of there. You've also got these motors. And again, this is what we're going to do when you come to class. All right, your job, my best idea would be to invest in buying one of these because yes, I've got some alligator clips and they should be easier, but sometimes I like people having a bit of a play around and trying different things. You learn from those mistakes. Like Mr. Blair couldn't get something to work twice, couldn't he?